I could go back in time to the beginning of my twin flame journey and my spiritual journey, I wish someone would have drilled into my head that emotional triggers, feeling triggered a lot of the time, is actually really normal. I feel like in our society, we have demonized emotions and made such a bad relationship to our emotions. And while it's not necessarily healthy to feel triggered and to be in a state of dysregulation all the time, it's simply the reality. If you are someone who has experienced childhood trauma, you are not going to feel good all the time. And I feel like it is so much even more dysregulating to be sold this lie that we have to feel perfect and love and light all the time when it's just not the reality. I have healed chronic health issues, PTSD, anxiety, panic attacks in my life. Even when I was doing all of the right steps, I was still dealing with this anxiety and this trauma in my body. And it made me feel as though I was doing something wrong or there was something wrong with me for not immediately feeling better and feeling perfect. And I've thankfully now shifted into a place in my life where I feel so regulated and my baseline is really good and I'm thriving in my relationship and my business, doing what lights me up and doing what is important to me and living an aligned life. But the path to getting here was not sunshine and rainbows. It was a lot of sitting with my triggers in the messiest, most emotional moment, sitting with like the deepest, darkest emotions that I have ever felt in my life. And I feel like that process was made harder because of the way that we are taught to relate to our emotions. Something that really, really shifted my relationships to my emotions was learning about Teal Swan and how she teaches about inner child healing and relating to your emotions in a much healthier, more loving way. This was such a game changer for me. Just having this radical shift towards acceptance of everything that I was feeling. That is when all my manifestations started to come in. That is when I started to feel more regulated, more confident, more beautiful, just more at ease and in a thriving energy instead of a survival energy. If I could go back to my childhood and tell my child self one thing, I would tell her to allow herself to be so comfortable with her emotions, to be so comfortable with her triggers, and to accept every single emotion as it comes up, to not judge it, but to simply sit with it, to feel it, to listen to it. Because let me tell you, I was in a state of emotional suppression for so many years, and that is something that is going to block you so much on a healing journey, is just feeling numbed out from your emotions and feeling like emotions are dangerous. So when I made this shift and I really radically moved into a space of acceptance around all of my negative emotions, it was actually more regulating for my body and for my nervous system because my body was no longer seeing the emotions that I was feeling as a threat. And as a result, I was able to quantum leap so fast in such a short amount of time to manifest everything that I had been calling in my life. My dream relationship, my dream body, simply feeling really good about myself and my life, the trajectory of my life and my business. Because for the first time in my whole life, I had let go of that deep-seated resistance to emotions. And I think this is so relevant to those of us on a spiritual journey, especially if you identify as a divine feminine. Your emotions and the way that you feel the world and your sensitivity is the same way that you receive high vibrational energies and manifest better things into your life. So it's almost like your emotions, as you clear out and vent all that trauma and negative emotions and limiting belief, it's almost like your energy becomes this clear pool where you can receive all of these new frequencies, all of this new energy, which in turn ripples out into your life and brings in and attracts in the right people, the right circumstances, the right ideas, inspiration. I really think that getting aligned in your love life on your spiritual journey is so deeply tied to how much you allow yourself to feel. Affirming to yourself over and over and over again that triggers are normal, triggers are going to happen, and your emotions are all sacred. There are no emotions that are wrong or bad. Every single part of your consciousness and your emotions and your experience is valid, and it is there for a reason. Let me know in the comments if this resonates, and of course, follow for more.